What's going on, everybody? It's your man Apollo. I'm back out here with my man Z. We are back. This is another episode of the Unfiltered Sports Podcast. Y'all foul on in. Join us. Hey, before we get started, everybody is showing support and love. Thank y'all so much. But hey,
we appreciate it.
We really do. As y'all can see, we trying to upgrade right now for y'all. We trying to make this as legit and as official as we can. So y'all be sure to hit the thumbs up and the like button for my man Z. Getting the background, getting the banners and all this created. This is his brainchild, all right? But y'all come on in. Y'all be sure to share the content. This week, we are covering the top 10 wide receivers going into the 2021 season. If you missed the last two episodes, we covered top 10 quarterbacks first. We did top 5 running backs because we don't feel there's 10 legit running backs to really go off of. And this week, we're going to have a wild list. And we're going to have our first official Z hot take in this video. Z is going to piss somebody off with this list. I'm going to probably make somebody mad too. But before we get started, quick announcement, guys. Y'all be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have a Facebook page. My man Z made a Facebook page. Go find us on the Facebook page. Also, links to all the other social medias, as in my Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all will be in the description. I will also put a link to the playlist and the previous videos we've done and any other videos y'all want to go watch with me and your man Z. But that's enough of that. Let's get into the video. Z, as always, I will give you the honor. But first, honorable mention. I'm gonna get my.
Oh, let's talk about our Facebook page first.
Okay, go ahead.
So our Facebook page is under Unfiltered Sports Podcast.
Yes, just like
you can look at the lettering behind us. It's USP.
Yes.
You can find it with USP, and it'll bring up the Unfiltered Sports Podcast.
Yes, guys.
Well, we were trying to do a live feed today. It didn't work out. We're having some technical issues, but if anything new, that's what happens.
We will make it work to where we will record and also at the same time stream live on Facebook. Okay, guys, we are here to take the fuck over. Just let y'all know. We are going to be the new Hot Sports Podcast team out there. We are going to take over. Again, this is my man Z's brainchild. But honorable mentions. I got a couple. They were on the list, then I was like, nah, take them off. Honorable mentions. First honorable mention. I know he was injured, but with his talent, I still think he's a top receiver, Odell Beckham Jr. I think he's going to come back this year. I think he's going to have a good, decent bounce back season. Will he be in Cleveland? I don't know. Sorry, I got popcorn in my mouth. Will he be in Cleveland? I don't know. Maybe him and Baker Mayfield will be on a better accord. Little side note, I thought I saw Baker Mayfield today at Walmart. A guy looked just like him. I double checked. I was like, is that Baker Mayfield? But it wasn't him. But another honorable mention, Justin Jefferson. Crazy rookie season. I mean, just ridiculous numbers. I think he'll put up some bigger numbers in his second season because you got to guard him and Thielen. Kirk Cousins has no excuse. And you got to worry about Dalvin Cook, who me and Z both agree is the top back in the league. If you disagree with that, you don't know football. I'm just playing. But another honorable mention, and this one is a wild one. Antonio Brown. I know he's in a system where he's not going to get the ball a lot, but if you make him the feature receiver, we know what Antonio Brown can do. Okay? Also, another one, CeeDee Lamb. I expect big things from my man CeeDee Lamb this year. Big numbers. But Z, do you have anybody in honorable mention before we get started?
Wow. I went with teams, man. I went with the whole theme of it where we were talking about the cores themselves. And my two big major talking points were wide receiver depth and then no tight end help. Okay. So if your wide receiver core had any kind of help within the tight end community, I discounted it.
Okay.
This means the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wait. Z's hot take. Here we go. The floor is yours. Go ahead, man.
All right, so I have an honorable mention as the Kansas City Chiefs, and the big reason being is half of their wide receiver core is Travis Kelce. He's a tight end. He's not a wide receiver. And that's why Kansas City is on my honorable mentions, because you've got Tyreek Hill.
And yeah, that's about it.
Like, that's about it. The rest of the guys just out.
And no disrespect to Mecole Hardman or formerly Sammy Watkins, or I can't even name anybody else after Mecole Hardman, because it's literally Hill or Kelce. And most of the time it is Kelce, which shows how great he is. And
for sure.
So yeah, man. Yeah, I gotta agree with you. Even though I do have Tyreek Hill on my list in terms of him as a position, as a receiver. But if we're talking about receiving core, oh yeah, Kansas City does not make the top 10 at all.
And then I also included Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
And reason being Atlanta Falcons, they just lost Julio Jones.
Yeah.
And then they've got Pitts. You know, I hope that he's the talk of the town, man. You know, he's supposed to be the best tight end to ever come out of college. So we'll see what happens. You know,
he's going to be a hybrid, man. He's going to be like
I think so.
Yeah, he's going to be like a Calvin Johnson type hybrid. Like, they'll bring him in to get a mismatch at tight end, but I guarantee you in the red zone they're going to split him out wide. I don't know. I don't know who do you put on him? No one.
He's too big.
He's too big. I mean, literally, just throw it up there. Like, you don't even got to call a play. Everybody can just stand up, just throw. Matt Ryan just got to say hut and just throw it to the guy, because you can't put a linebacker on him. He's just gonna. He's big. He can move. If you put a corner on him, yeah, right. Good luck. Like, come on, man.
For sure. Yeah, but that's pretty much who I had for honorable mentions. Because I mean, I could talk about every team on honorable mentions.
Yeah.
If I really wanted to.
Yeah, I feel you. But we got 10 this week, Z. We got a whole 10 this week. Not 5. We got 10. And I think our lists are going to be all scrambled up. You said it's going to be a surprise at number 1. I think my number 1 will probably easily be one of your top 3. I guarantee it. But I'm going to let you get started with your number 10, because I'm sure my number 10 probably is not even on your radar. But I'm sure he's on a lot of people's radar. But yeah, the floor is yours, my man.
All right, so I think me and you did different lists, but like I said, I was going after wide receiver cores as a whole.
Yeah.
Because I could pick out individual receivers and be like, oh, this is the best one. This is the best one.
I picked out individuals. That's what I did.
So at number 10, I picked the Cleveland Browns wide receiver core as a whole.
Okay.
Now, you have Jarvis Landry. You have OBJ. Mm-hmm. And then you have Rashard Higgins after that.
Yeah.
Which he's made some good plays, but it's not like he's optimal.
Yeah.
Not like Jarvis Landry or OBJ, but the problem with OBJ this year was that he was injured.
Yeah.
And then they're at number 10 because they do rely on a tight end position.
They do.
But they have a top-tier core to back that tight end core up.
I agree.
So that was my number 10.
My number 10, and he kind of had a breakout season, especially the second half last year and in the playoffs. A.J. Brown of the Tennessee Titans. He's big. He's physical. He's reliable. Oh, and by the way, guess what? Now he has Julio on the other side. You got to respect Julio. You know damn well you're going to respect Derrick Henry. And they got a decent tight end. So now Ryan Tannehill has more freedom to really get A.J. Brown the ball. And if A.J. Brown develops like I think he will and take that next step that they say, I think he'll be a top 10 receiver. He could possibly be a top 5, arguably. I mean, with his skill set, the guy is set. I mean, he is physical. I watched that game with them in Baltimore. Now, even though Tennessee lost, that first half, I'm sorry, Marlon Humphrey, which will be on my top 10 cornerbacks list or defensive backs. He was giving it to Marlon Humphrey. A.J. Brown is a beast. I forgot what year he's going into, but he kind of like snuck into the league. I kind of knew about him, but is it year 3 or 4, right? Something like that.
Yeah, hold on. Let me look up.
Look it up. I should have looked that up before, but I was like, I had to put him on the list because I got to give him this respect. I feel like he doesn't get recognized because he's in Tennessee, and they run the ball a lot, which he's perfect for because again, he's a big physical receiver. I think he's like 6'1", 6'2", or something, like 235. Like he is.
This will be his third season.
Okay, yeah, he is jacked. So he's still on this rookie deal. He has a lot of room to develop. I mean, there are a lot of good individual receivers out there. So I feel like this top 10 was the hardest for me. Like I said, you went core, so that's easier. I went individual.
So.
Now the top 5 didn't change, but outside of my top 5, I changed that a whole lot. Like I was just rearranging, dudes going in, dropping out. But I finally set on AJ Brown, and I'm gonna leave him. AJ Brown to me is the number 10 receiver going into the upcoming season, and I think he's going to have a good year.
And exactly what you said. My biggest thing when we talk about AJ Brown is you have someone in the backfield that you always have to make sure that your defense is ready for.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
So they don't have a really high, cover 2 defense.
Yeah.
Everybody that faces, the Titans, they have a really close defense playing down because they don't want to have that deep field that allows Henry to freaking run it up.
Exactly.
And I think that allows AJ Brown a lot of the times to get those breakaway plays because they're more worried about what King Henry can do versus their wide receiver that is on the field. So I think that this next year it's going to be interesting to see how defenses play it because not only do they have AJ Brown, but they have Julio Jones now.
And you say that, I think Tennessee's going to be that team I really watch and pay attention to because of the dynamics. Because it's like, as a defense, how do you approach it? Because now they got Julio over there. He's not what he was, let's say, 4 years ago, but you still got to respect him. You're not just going to leave Julio one-on-one and think he's not going to do something. So now you got 2 good outside receivers. You got a tight end that you got to respect. You got a top 2, 3 running back freight train in the backfield, and you got a well-coached, tough team. Tennessee is going to be a very interesting team. I wouldn't be surprised if they are a sleeper team in the AFC. Because
they're not really a sleeper team. Everyone knows who they are.
Yeah, we know who they are, but like when we talk about the top teams, I feel like they're on the outside. Like you got Buffalo, you got Kansas City, you got Baltimore. I feel like Tennessee is kind of on that bubble on the outside. Like they can sneak in there, and people know who they are. But I feel like they're going to fly under the radar, even though Julio's over there. But who's your number 9 core?
So my number 9 core, again, this is because they rely heavily on the tight end position. San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you heard me.
Yeah.
So with the San Francisco 49ers, they have Deebo Samuels. They have Brandon Ayuk and Jalen Hurd. That is a really good wide receiver core.
That really is. I'm glad you put that. I'm glad you did it like that because that gives them that respect. That is a good core of wide receivers. And then you got George Kittle. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's kind of like they would have been higher. So originally I had him as number 4, but then I realized how much they relied because I was like, man, they pass the ball a lot. But then I thought about it, and that's when I put like the whole no tight end thing.
Yeah.
And like without George Kittle, you know what I mean? It takes a lot of the passes away. So
yeah, I feel like George Kittle helps their offense flow a lot, especially in the passing game because you're going to focus so much attention on him because he can break a game wide open, and that's what's special about tight ends like Kittle and Kelsey and Gronk when he's in his prime. These guys can break a game wide open at a tight end position. Unlike back in the day. I like how you did that, man. I feel like I should have did it as a core, but I went individual. But I feel like we feed off each other with that. You did the core, and I got individual. And speaking of big physical targets, again, my number 9, Mike Evans, kind of had a sleeper year, but we know when you have Tom Brady, he's gonna Tom Brady's going to share the ball. He's not just going to force feed one guy. Tom Brady's going to go with what works. So if 1 week the run game works, then Tom Brady's going to say, run the damn ball. If 1 week Chris Godwin's having a good game, feed him. Or Gronk's having a game, feed him. Or AB. Or this week it may be Mike. You know, that's how a Brady offense works, which is cool because guess what? You're going to win. So his numbers compared to what he had with Jameis, they did drop. But we know what Mike Evans is. 6'5", 230, can jump out the gym, go up, snag it. You're not covering him one-on-one with anyone consistently for a period of time. So the most you can do, I think, is just hope to slow him down. Not even contain him, slow him down. Now he has Tom Brady. He's had an offseason with Tom Brady after winning the Super Bowl. You re-signed everybody. So the Bucs offense, man, the only thing that can stop them is themselves and injuries, I think. Because they're just going to do the same thing that they did this past season. Like they're going to get better. So hopefully they stay healthy. But I think Mike Evans he's literally flown under the radar a lot. We forget about him because he's in Tampa. They weren't winning. But I pay attention. And I think Mike Evans is elite easily. But number 8, sir, who you got? Who's your core?
All right. Number 8. I kind of struggled with this one. So 7 and 8, they're kind of, they can be wishy-washy either way.
Yeah.
Number 8, I put Seattle Seahawks.
Ooh, okay.
Now, you got DK Metcalf.
Monster.
Easily a top 5 receiver in the NFL.
Yes.
Then you have Tyler Lockett, who could be a top 10 wide receiver as well.
He really could. I agree. I really agree with that.
And then it kind of trickles down to a player called David Moore. And I don't know too much about him. I did a little bit of research, and I was like, I don't know who this guy is. I don't think I've ever seen him on the football field.
But he's playing with Russell Wilson's. And
that was another thing I took into factors with some of these teams. You know, who's their quarterback?
Yeah.
Is their quarterback a passing quarterback versus hand the ball off? And then the same with the offense too. You know, is it a running offense or is it a passing offense?
Yeah.
And that kind of changes how you rate these too.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And I think as a core, Seattle is good. And I feel like outside of that, like you would think, especially as a casual, you're like, okay, who do they have outside of DK and Tyler Lockett? But they seem to always produce every year. And when you look back from when they won the Super Bowl, like they kind of always had like a good core of guys. You know, they don't have just like their legit number one. They have a core of guys that produce because, I mean, they had Curse and Tate and then Harvin. Then they went to Doug Baldwin. And now we got DK and Lockett. Like, Seattle has, for the most part, since Russell has been there, had a good core. They just always focus on running the ball. But my number 8, and I feel like this guy will be in here as a core on yours, Adam Thielen. We got to stop sleeping on Adam Thielen, all right? Look, I know Justin Jefferson had a ridiculous rookie season, but let's be honest, as good as talented as that young brother is, he does not get most of those numbers because of Adam Thielen. No disrespect to Justin Jefferson. Adam Thielen is a superior route technician, and the man has glue hands. He catches damn near everything. He can get open. People underestimate him because, let's be honest, he's a white guy. And I'm looking at the list. He's the only white guy on the list. So he's clearly the best white receiver in the league. And but Adam Thielen, man, he's a monster. He's been doing this thing even when they had Stephon Diggs in Minnesota. Adam Thielen was still putting up numbers. He's doing this thing. So I'm going to give my respect to Adam Thielen. He is a top 10 receiver. If you disagree, tough titty, my man. But hey, Adam Thielen's he's number 8 to me.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think that Justin Jefferson is going to stay in Minnesota and be a number 2 when he really is a number 1 wide receiver?
That is a good question. Because when you think
Z take.
Z hot take. Hold on. Okay. So that is a good question because let's think about it. Let's think about receiving duos. Can you name one receiving duo in at any point in NFL history that stayed together longer than 3 or 4 years? Like Jerry Rice and T.O. were only together what 3-4 years, right? Randy Moss and Chris Carter were only together for a couple of years. Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne. Eventually, Harrison retired. I'm like, what core receiving duo that had 2 top 5 possible receivers stay together for a extended period of time because there's only one football.
Yeah, well, there's only one football, and then not only that, contracts.
You know, receivers going to want to get paid.
Wide receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're number 2, you don't get paid as much as the number 1.
You don't. You do not.
You know, and then you have that argument, you know, because can Justin Jefferson beat out Adam Thielen for his job? I don't think so. Adam Thielen, I mean, yes, they're very both talented wide receivers, but Adam Thielen's kind of one of those guys where he'll make you regret trying to put him in his place. Like that's the kind of wide receiver he is.
Yeah. And I like that you can move Thielen around. Like he's a big guy, but you can put him in the slot and he's still just as successful. I like that. Like, and he went undrafted, right? Didn't he? Or he was
Adam Thielen?
Yeah, he was a late.
Let's see.
He was a late draft pick. Like he got no respect coming out of college. Him or Diggs. Diggs was a 5th round pick.
Hold on.
I remember watching Diggs.
Oh yeah, he was an undrafted free agent.
Undrafted free agent, put the work in. So and this is what I like about football compared to any other sport. Because let's compare it to like NBA, okay. All the stars in the NBA, for the most part, are all top draft picks. All of them. In the NFL, some of the greatest players are late round draft picks. Tom Brady, 6th round. Jerry Rice, 6th round or 7th round, whatever. Antonio Brown, 6th round. I mean, a lot of the top players are late round draft picks. It's like the top guys usually flame out. I don't know what it's like getting drafted late. Just puts that chip on your shoulder. Just makes you work hard.
We talked about this. We talked about this. I think in our draft video, actually, when we talked about pre-draft or Super Bowl, when we were talking around the Super Bowl. When you look at drafts, usually it's the top 5 guys who are going to be impactful.
Yeah.
Top 5 to top 10. Mm-hmm. After that, the first round, it's a hit or miss because are you going to draft for best player available or are you drafting for position need?
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of teams at a first round draft pick, you know, that's a premium pick.
Yeah.
So they pick, you know, usually what their needs are, not best player left. So I feel what happens is, go on.
No, I was gonna say I feel like after I was gonna agree with you after those top 5 picks. I feel like after that it's basically a popularity contest. When they say best available player, they're saying who's the most well-known, recognizable name that we can draft. Because a name brings, you know, I guess some kind of clout because, you know, you got a name. So if you got a name, you're like, okay, well, he's got to be good. He's well-known. He has a big name. Bring his ass in. I don't know if that makes sense what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could be that, or it could be, you know, hey, this is, you know, like, for instance, like the running backs this year.
Yeah.
You know, you had Najee Harris, and then you had Travis I can't say his name.
Oh, Etienne?
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to butcher it. Every time I say it all kinds of bad. So you had those two. That was it.
Yeah.
You know, realistically for the running back group, and then it was, do we need a running back? You know, like that.
Yeah.
That's what teams are asking. So I think that's what happens sometimes, you know, in like a lot of wide receiver or running back or even tight end positions, they may be completely filled draft with extreme talent.
Yeah.
And guy slides to 6 because he didn't fit the team.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I agree, man. I agree. It sucks, but it's just how it works out. But we're gonna move on to number 7. My number seven is gonna raise some eyebrows, probably, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But who you got? Or your
So
core?
I got number 7. I got Denver Broncos. They're very overlooked a lot of the time.
Yes, it's because they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
That receiving core, my God. If you are really in tune to football, you know damn well Denver's receiving core is good.
Yeah. No, I mean you have Sutton, Cortland Sutton. Then you have Jerry Jeudy, very capable wide receivers, and then KJ Hamler. Those guys are very capable wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't include tight ends. So before anybody gets upset that I say this, but Noah Fant as a tight end as well. If you just can throw the ball, you're gonna score. You're gonna move the ball. Like that's the kind of core they are. And
Yeah.
the reason why they're number 7 is they don't have a quarterback.
Man, look, and do you think they really tried to get Aaron Rodgers? Do you think they gave a legit shot? Do you even think Green Bay even really put him on the market for that? Because they need a quarterback, man. It's too much talent in Denver.
Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing with Green Bay. Green Bay has continuously failed Rodgers.
Yeah.
And I mean, is there a point where it's on the player? Yes, but there's a point when it's on the actual franchise itself to supply the players for the quarterback.
Agreed.
To be a good offense.
Agreed.
And I feel like that's what we're seeing in Green Bay. And I don't know. A lot of these outlets, man, they're saying that, they're all predicting that he's coming back, dude. He said it on the golf course. He's like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, he's like, I feel like Aaron Rodgers is having a midlife crisis for some reason.
Well, he could be. He could be like, man, dude, I'm sick and tired of always freaking carrying a team on my back and never getting anything for it. I've got 2 Super Bowls. That's it.
I agree. And but here's what I do hold Aaron accountable for the most recent. Your defense, like I said in the quarterback video, your defense got you 3 opportunities. They stopped Tampa Bay 1, 2, 3 times. All of them were turnovers. You didn't put the ball in the end zone. Some of that's got to be, a lot of that's on Matt LaFleur. I agree. But some of that is on you too, man, because guess what? You were the MVP. And you got a guy who I got on my list in the top 3 at wide receiver, and he didn't show up either. But I'm going to go to my number 7, an eyebrow raiser. I don't know if this is not a hot take, but it's an eyebrow raiser. But I got Julio Jones. So we got 10-2 top Tennessee. Yeah. I'm looking. Tennessee's the only team that has 2 receivers in my top 10, but only because Julio went to Tennessee. I mean, if he was in Atlanta, he'd probably still be there. He's been nicked a lot lately, but at the end of the day, that's still Julio mother flipping Jones. Yeah. Freak of nature. Like, what's the weakness in his game? He has size,
you're right.
Speed, hands. He can run routes. He's physical. Like, there's no weakness in his game. So I'm not going to completely say he's fallen off. I don't think he's a top 3 receiver like he's been, I don't know, the last 8 freaking years. But I still think he is definitely a top 10 and one of the more elite receivers in the game. Can he have a bounce back year? Oh, go ahead.
Well, but before you take your take on that, I think that Tennessee wants to develop AJ Brown with the help of Julio Jones.
And that's what's special about Julio. Julio will help him do that and not have any problem with it.
If it means getting a ring.
Yeah. I think Julio's down for that. And that's what I like about Julio. He's not the typical wide receiver. Like, as big and as gifted as he is, he's not divish. He is the bring the lunch pail to work hard hat guy at wide receiver with his gifts. Like,
yeah.
You literally can't ask for a better guy, a better man, better player to be at wide receiver. Reliable.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he doesn't cause issues. But what I was going to say for my take is I'm curious to see how, like I said, how they're. When I say I'm going to really watch Tennessee offensively this year because Ryan Tannehill is not an elite quarterback, but you have weapons. Question is, the run game is so damn good, which means, and Ryan Tannehill is one of the better play-action quarterbacks in the league. I will give him that. What type of offense are you going to implement to help not only develop AJ Brown, but still get Julio the ball to where he's effective, but you're still not taking away from Derrick Henry? So like I said, I'm going to really, really pay attention to that this year in Tennessee. But I think Julio's production will depend on a big part of how much Ryan Tannehill will go to him. I think in the beginning, he'll try to go to him to make him feel comfortable. But in the end, they're going to rely more on A.J. Brown. Even though Julio is ranked higher on the list, I guess, did that based on his resume from what he's did over the years. But eventually, A.J. Brown will surpass Julio, which is fine. I mean, I don't think that's an issue. And I'm sure Julio doesn't have a problem with it either. I don't know. But number 6, sir, who you got? Who's your core?
I'm going to get a lot of flack from Bills Mafia for this one. I have number 6, Miami Dolphins, as a core. Now, reason being, you have Will Fuller, right? Will Fuller is one of the biggest deep threats. Just listen, just listen to me. Just listen.
The Dolphins? Break it down to me, Z. Break it down to me. Break it down. I'm listening.
So you got Will Fuller, right? Mm-hmm. He's a deep threat. He's been a deep threat for a long time. Deshaun Watson didn't utilize him right.
Yeah, he drops passes. But yeah, no, I agree. Will Fuller is a deep threat. I agree with that.
You got Jalen Waddle, who they drafted.
I forgot they drafted him. Damn it.
I think that is going to be a huge playmaker for the Miami Dolphins.
Man.
And then we forgot about Devontae Parker.
Yes,
their actual wide receiver.
Yeah.
That's number 1.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, when I really looked at this list, dude, it caught my surprise how many good players the Dolphins actually have for a wide receiver. I mean, it's overshadowed.
Until you broke it down like that, I didn't even realize it. Because when you said it, you were just like, someone's like, the Dolphins. Then you're like, Parker, Waddle. I was like, oh, I forgot they got Waddle and Fuller. Okay. You got 2 of the fastest guys in the league. 2 deep. Jalen Waddle has wheels. Wow.
Yep.
But that's not even a hot take. I'm gonna applaud you for that one, man. You snuffed that one out. You get an applause for that one, man.
The only thing that we're gonna have to see this year, will Tua be able to throw the ball?
Yeah, he's got to develop. He's got to.
That's it, man.
They're getting you the track team like you had at Alabama. Hopefully the line can hold up, but yeah, he's got to develop because clearly they are going in on him now. Like they're not wasting time trying to take their time. No, they're like, Tua, here, boom, boom, we're here. We even get you one of your old weapons and bring them here. We're gonna get you what you need to put you in the best position to succeed. Bars, but my number 6, and he's coming off injury, but he still played for the majority of the season. And I'm curious to see how he's going to do this year. Michael Thomas of the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees is gone. He's retired. We don't know if it's going to be Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill. And we don't know how much of Drew Brees' success is actually responsible for what Michael Thomas has. Because before Michael Thomas, I don't know if you remember Marcus Colston, he was putting up the same kind of numbers with Drew Brees that Michael Thomas is. And Marcus Colston just kind of fell off the face of the earth. Like, think of all the 5,000-yard passing seasons and just all the statistical great season Drew Brees has had in New Orleans. We can't name 4 or 5 receivers that are great after Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
We can't. I can probably name you 2. Marcus Colston, Brandon Cooks.
And, you know, to be honest, that's why the Saints didn't even make my roster or my top 10 because Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas, yeah.
Who else?
Michael Thomas.
because I don't know anybody else.
Emmanuel Sanders left. He's gone. So it's like,
yeah.
I don't know who they got. I mean, if you want to include Alvin Kamara, because he does receive. When I looked at the stats for the receiving leaders, Alvin Kamara is in there. I think he's top 15. He's only, I think, tailback up there, which is crazy to show how much they throw him the ball or just give him the ball in general. But yeah, I agree. Yeah. Like, outside of Michael Thomas, who do they have? Who do they have this upcoming season? Like, nobody.
Yeah. Well, who are they going to put in as quarterback? Are you going to put Mr. Interception Machine, Jameis Winston? Or are you going to put the gadget player in? You know, I mean, too many uncertainties, you know?
Right. And Jameis, with Michael Thomas, like, he'll be triple covered. Jameis will try to force it in there, thinking he can make a play, when in reality, that's just going to be a turnover. And again, we don't know what Taysom Hill is for a long stretch at the position of quarterback. So, I mean, Sean Payton sees him every day practicing. So, clearly he knows what he can do. But it's a different story when you get in the game against another team that's trying to take your head off and, there's pressure. You know, so we'll see. We'll see how this works. But we are down to the top 5. I am curious to see, before we continue, just let me know, did the Cowboys as a unit make it in your top 5?
You'll have to wait and find out. Just let everyone know.
Oh, God. Okay. All right, who you got number 5? Is it the Cowboys?
LA Rams.
Okay. Yeah.
So I couldn't in good conscience put the LA Rams in the top 3.
Okay.
They will have Matt Stafford, and I think that's going to be a huge improvement.
Yes.
To the quarterback, and it's going to help them out. Now, you have Robert Woods, which was always overlooked. You know, he was overlooked in Buffalo. He did great in Buffalo, but they couldn't offer him what he wanted. So he went down to LA. He's doing
great in LA. Cup. Yeah. Cooper Kupp is so underappreciated. Like, it's because I think because he doesn't get all the highlight plays. But when you just watch the game, Cooper Kupp, when he need a first down, guess who's getting it? Cooper Kupp is getting it. So
for sure. And then
he is so underappreciated.
Then in this offseason, they added Deshaun Jackson, which he hasn't had that great since he's been in the league, but he's been really injured. So who knows? Will we see a bounce back, you know, to his college days? And then I think that Van Jefferson, which was one of their drafts this year, I think they're going to be a really good wide receiver unit. And with Stafford, you know, and Stafford likes to utilize all his players like Tom Brady.
Yes.
So I think that's really, I mean, I feel like that's going to be a very overlooked team this year because of everything that's happened. So what's your number 5?
My number 5, sir. Keenan Allen.
Okay.
Keenan Allen of the LA Chargers. Oh, my goodness. I feel like he's another guy that's kind of flown under the radar. He silently puts up great numbers.
Oh, yeah.
But like, for guys like us, we're so in tune to the game, that stuff doesn't go past us. And I watch Keenan Allen. I literally watch him play. And he's another like Adam Thielen. He can run routes. He's not the fastest guy, but guess what? His ass gets open. He has hands, and his catch radius is just ridiculous.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And now he has a young quarterback. If Justin Herbert if he makes a jump like Josh Allen did, look out NFL.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because Justin, and you know what? I've been seeing a lot of like videos on like YouTube, social media, whatever. Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen are getting close. They're getting that bond that a wide receiver should have with his quarterback. To me, if I'm a DB, that's scary. That scares me. Because Keenan Allen was already good with the aging Phillip Rivers. Now you got Justin Herbert, who's young, cannon for an arm. And he makes plays. And Justin Herbert is a baller. Like, we didn't see that at Oregon, but he came in the league and said, watch this. And he knows he has a good receiver in Keenan Allen. So I think Keenan Allen's going to put up big numbers this year. Like, big numbers. I think top 3 numbers in receiving yards, receptions, and touchdowns. Easily top 5. Like, I can
agree with you.
I just expect Keenan Allen to have a monster year this year. But that's my number 5, man. So who you got at number 4?
Number 4, I have the Minnesota Vikings. You have Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, and then it goes to
the Vikings is scary, man.
Oh, well, you have 2 truly number 1 wide receivers going back, on both sides of the field. It's kind of like playing Madden, man. It's unfair. You got these highly players that could just dart off on you or do extreme route. You know what I mean? Like
the Vikings are the Titans on steroids. You got a good running back, you got 2 good receivers, and you got a middle of the road quarterback that if he'll put up numbers if you just put him in the right position. Like, I mean, okay. Here's a question. One unit for the game of your life. Are you taking Julio, AJ, and Derrick Henry? Or are you taking Adam, Jefferson, and Cook? Like, that is a hell.
Where's the ball at? That's okay. Where's the ball at?
Well, if it's in the red zone, I'm taking Tennessee. Like,
yeah, for sure,
all day. But if
I've got to bomb the ball, I've got to bomb it, dude. I'm taking the Vikings.
Yeah,
you're
taking
the Vikings are all those spread offenses. Whereas the Titans, man, once they get in that red zone, once the Titans get in the red zone, they're going to score.
Yes.
So. Yeah, that was my number 4. I thought that was pretty interesting because, I mean, they have a very good core.
Yeah, they do.
And like I said, I tried to stay away from other positions that play it, but with the Vikings, you kind of have to count in, the running back, Dalvin Cook, because he can catch.
Yeah.
And then you have tight end. Oh,
damn it! What's his name? It's all going to tip my tongue. Shit.
Yeah. I had wrote it down earlier, but I scratched it out. So tight end.
He's a good passable tight end. Yeah.
No.
Why do I want to? It's not Rudolph. Is it Kyle Rudolph? No.
Rudolph. Yeah.
It's Kyle Rudolph. Yeah. I'm like, is it Rudolph? Yeah, Kyle Rudolph.
So you kind of, and that unlike, Kansas City, where half of the receiving goes to the tight end core. You're looking at maybe 10% or less goes to the tight end, and 10% or less goes to the running back, and it's mostly on the wide receiver.
I agree.
So that's kind of why I have them up here and not Kansas City.
Yes.
Because Kansas City, if I counted tight ends, Kansas City would be a top 3, easy, all day.
Yeah. Speaking of Kansas City, my number 4 is Mr. Tyreek Hill because the cheetah, because the man's a game breaker. He's a cheat code out there. You give him in space. Well, good. Thanks for trying. We've seen him catch like a 5-yard hitch, take one step and he's gone. He's gone. Or he'll take a drag. He's gone. Like you can't teach and coach speed. Speed kills.
Oh, for sure.
That is a gift that man is blessed with. And when he turns the corner, he is gone. And he's doing this on the way to the end zone.
Oh yeah, for sure. Or he does a backflip when he scores a touchdown.
Yeah, he'll do a backflip. Like, for a guy his size to be such a game breaker, I have to put him top 5. But the top 3 to me, these guys are the legit elite of the elite when we get to the top 3. Because, and everybody else outside of that, they're good. They're solid, reliable number ones. But my top 3 are clear cut. Ain't no question. These are the number 1 receivers, like, on their team, and these are the top in the league. And I feel like my top 3, you can interchange them. And you're gonna like my top 3 because I got one of your guys in there. But we're gonna get to your top 3.
All right. So my number 3, which it hurts me and it pains me to say this, the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh man, them Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys, right? So you have a very unique wide receiver corps.
Yeah.
When I say this, you have Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
You have Michael Gallup, and you have CeeDee Lamb. Those are all, again, these are guys who could be number 1 receivers on their own team.
Yes, I agree.
And that's kind of the thing. And, I feel that that's why Dak Prescott is able to do as well as he does when he's in the game, because he can have 3 wide receivers get over 1,500 receiving yards,
which is crazy.
But I mean, it numbers speak for themselves, because I mean, who's the tight end for the Dallas Cowboys?
We got Blake Jarwin, and we got who's the other
guy? Yeah, exactly. My point. Nobody.
There's another guy. Damn it!
Yeah, exactly.
Damn it!
No. Blocking tight ends, man. They're blocking tight ends.
Because I think it was Jarwin who got his leg snapped. Then the other guy came in and he got hurt. I don't know. And I know Blake Jarwin, and they talk highly of Blake Jarwin, like he's like this super athletic guy under the radar. But I'm like, well, I need to see that on Sunday. I don't need to hear about it. I need to see that. But my number 3, again, my top 3 can be interchangeable. This guy can be number 1 on a lot of people. He could be number 1 on this list, but just for the sakes of the list, I put him at number 3, Stephon Diggs.
I'm going to kick you in the nuts.
Stephon Diggs.
I want to hear this.
Is a elite. Look what he did for Josh Allen.
Oh, for sure.
We were I was ready. I was on the train, on the bandwagon, on the bus, on the boat. I was, whatever you want to call it, on the plane. I was on that trail ready to call Josh Allen a bust. And then Stephon Diggs came in and showed us what Josh Allen truly is. He is a baller. All he needed was a guy that can make plays. Stephon Diggs was good at Minnesota, okay? But he had to share Adam Thielen. Not that he didn't have to share it at Buffalo, but Buffalo, he was the man. And when he had all that attention, guess what? He showed his ass.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And to add on your thing, he kind of transformed the game for Allen.
Yes.
He gave him that for sure option, because you see it. You seen it last season. When Allen was trapped, he had nowhere to throw it to.
Mm-hmm.
Diggs made himself open.
Yeah.
He cut route. He would, curl. He'll do whatever he had to do to get open for Josh. And because he knew.
Yeah.
If I'm open, Josh can throw it to me. Hey, I could be anywhere on the field and Josh will give it to me.
Exactly.
I just need to get open.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing, is you have the most elite route runner in the NFL, maybe in the history.
And I agree with that. He is a elite. Like, look at his highlights. Like him and the next guy I'm going to talk about. Look at their highlight. They have highlights of just purely running routes. They are on another level. They make me want to go back and play wide receiver and not corner to try to run routes like them.
Oh, yeah.
They are so technical with their routes. And here's the thing. Stephon Diggs, he's not even one of the fastest. He's not even one of the fastest guys. I'm not saying he doesn't have speed, but it's not. He doesn't rely on his game. He relies on being smart on the field, and using his superior elite route running to get open. I gotta look, like I said, he could be number one. He's probably number one on a lot of people's list. He could be number one on my list, but like I said, my top three, they're interchangeable. You can go either way. You can mix and match. So I guess he's 1B. There's gonna be 1B, 1A, then number one. So I don't have a number 1, 2, and 3. It's just 1B or 1A, 1B. But top two, man. Here we go.
So my number 2 is Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay. You say that. I want to know who the hell is number one, because I'm thinking around the league. I'm like, who the hell is a core? As a core, is better than Tampa Bay.
Well, okay, so with Tampa Bay, they won the Super Bowl, right?
Agreed.
But you have players like Mike Evans,
yes,
Chris Godwin,
yes,
Antonio Brown,
yes,
Scotty Miller,
Scotty Miller.
Yep. They were always a good core. They just never had a good quarterback to put the ball where it needed to be. And now that we see that, even though, Mike Evans' numbers have gone down or whatever, Tom Brady can manage a game, and he can manage it in a way that you'll always win too.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's what he's done, is he's evolved it, but you're not going to see any truly crazy, just wide open, wide receiver, deep route, throw the ball 80 yards down the field and catch it. Yeah. And that's not Tom Brady's play style. Tom Brady's is, I'm going to grind it down the field and control the entire game and then score it, unless I'm behind.
And that brings me back to what I said earlier, why Mike Evans is number 9, and I feel like his production will seem like it's going to slip, but still individually as a talent, he is still an elite wide receiver. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. No, you're fine. So that's it. Truly comes down to, do you really expect the Tom Brady to have that really high-driven, explosive play? Mm-hmm. No, he knows how to control the game, and that's why they're not a number one. That's why they're not my number one. You're not going to have that explosion play, or that non-mixture of tight ends.
I think the only time we saw Tom Brady be like that explosion like this when he had Randy Moss. That was the only time, because when you look at those couple of years, Tom Brady was launching it deep. Like, he just, Randy Moss is down there, let me just throw it down there. Like, outside of that, he's never really consistently threw deep passes. He will, but like you said, he wants to milk it and grind you out, tire you down. It's almost, his passing game is literally what they say the extension of the run game. That's all it is. Yeah. That's all it is. But my number 2, Davante Adams, another elite superior route runner, and another guy who wasn't a top pick coming into the league. Now, he was a second-round pick, but he's a second-round pick at wide receiver. And usually, if you don't go in the top 10 as a receiver or top 5, you're just kind of just another guy they feel like will just come in, fill in, catch a couple of touchdowns. So Davante Adams, I mean, he caught 18 touchdowns last season. 18! Like, wow. I don't know I don't know what to expect from him this year, because we don't know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. And we don't know if they really believe in Jordan Love. And if that's the case, can we trust Jordan Love will get the ball to Davante? I mean, I'm just like, I don't know, because Aaron Rodgers, despite what people may feel about him personally as a person, as a football player, the man can make throws. Yep. And he can put it in a spot where Davante will make a play. And we've seen Davante just school defensive backs just on and on and on, over and over again. And like I said, I think he could be number 1. He's probably, like I said, like Diggs, he's number 1 on somebody's list. Clearly Green Bay Packers fans list. So for me, he's going to be 1. He's 1A. And Diggs is 1B. But your number one, you know what? Let me strap in. Hold on. But your number one receiving core, is this going to be a hot take?
It might be. It might be.
Oh man. Okay. I'm all ears. Go ahead. Go ahead.
My number one, and this is not me being biased in any way, with the Buffalo Bills as a core.
As a core.
Okay. Look, the Bills are almost unstoppable on the wide receiver game right now. And I'm not trying to take win from the Cowboys or Tampa Bay or the Kansas City. You have Stephon Diggs, right? Mm-hmm. Cole Beasley.
My man Cole. I miss you, Cole.
You have, well, and here's something that I want to put out there about Cole Beasley. He had a broken fucking leg in the playoffs, and he was playing on it. You don't get much tougher than that.
You don't.
Dude, I don't give a fuck who you are. If you've ever had a broken bone, you know that
shit hurts.
Lord. And it wasn't like a fucking just like a hairline fracture or anything like that. Like, he needs surgery to fucking fix his bone and put it back in place. Like, that's fucking mental, man. And then I had Gabriel Davis, man. The emergence of him last season, he came in and he was, didn't really necessarily have the steps right. He was a rookie.
Yeah.
But look at the game against the Colts. He was Mr. Toad, drag, swag, everything. He had 3 plays that they were called, oh no, they're out of bounds. And then they're like, one of the refs was like, wait a second. Let's review that real quick. And you see it just barely, both his feet, sliding out. Then you have a gadget player, Isaiah McKenzie.
Okay? I forgot about him.
Look at the punt return he did against the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
The number one defense, right? And the number one special teams. He torched them on 100 and it was a 98-yard punt return.
I remember.
Yep. Then this is where it gets even crazier. They have Emmanuel Sanders that they signed in free agency.
Okay, that's where he went. I forgot. I was like, where did he make?
And not only that, they have another 6 wide receivers fighting for a spot on the team.
You know what you're doing right now? All you're doing is you're just making my case for what I said in the quarterback video. When I said Josh Allen is probably going to win. He is my pick for MVP this year. Josh Allen will win the MVP. And right now, you're just backing up what I just said.
Yeah.
I said it. Like, go back and watch the quarterback video if y'all ain't watched it, if this is y'all first one. I said it in that video. Josh Allen will win the MVP this season, especially if he takes another step. Because he's had an offseason with Diggs. He's had an offseason with Cole Beasley and the rest of that core. And Z's putting it out here for you. So, yeah, Z may be a Buffalo fan, but guess what? His take makes sense. Look at the step Josh Allen took. You gotta think that he's going to take another step, and Diggs is only going to get better. The offense is only going to get better, pending, of course, what everybody has to worry about is injuries. Knock on wood.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm really interested in, because a lot of these players that the Bills have for a wide receiver could easily be a wide receiver 1, a wide receiver 2, or a wide receiver 3 on a team.
I agree.
And then we look at this may be an emergence player that no one thought about, because he was drafted kind of high in not this draft, but the previous draft.
Mm-hmm.
So 2020 draft.
Yeah.
Isaiah Hodgins, right?
Yes.
He was injured in training last season, and he had to sit the whole season on IR. They said that he has even improved even more, and they liked him more than Gabriel Davis. So what is going to happen? And then it goes back to the whole thing is the Buffalo Bills played the most 4 wide receiver set out of any other team in the NFL.
And they played a lot of it in that playoff game against Baltimore.
And I think that realistically, when we talk about it, Buffalo has the deepest wide receiver core out of any of the teams. Because a lot of the teams, man, I was looking at these guys, man, I didn't even know who half these players were. they've been in the league 12 years. I was like, who the heck is this guy? So that's why the Buffalo Bills, coming into the season, have the number one wide receiver core.
Some people will disagree with you, and they'll be like, man, he don't know what he's talking about. What the hell he talking about? He just being biased. Well, guess what? If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I'm not going to disagree with that. Your points make sense. And again, it backs up my point where I said Josh Allen's going to win the MVP this year. It just lines up. He was in. Let's just think about it. Usually the MVP is going to go to a quarterback. Who this year has the most upside to win MVP? Just think about it. Josh freaking Allen. And if somebody was like, well, what about Mahomes? I mean, Mahomes is going to do his thing, but Josh Allen literally is just like he went to another level. Yep. Like Mahomes already set that peak. And it's going to be hard for him to go over that. He has to go over that level, even by slightly a little bit, from when he already won his MVP to win another one. Josh Allen, he went to another level, but he can easily go over that level and win an MVP. But my number one receiver, and I think he's been number one probably the last 5 years. No, not 5. We'll go 3 or 4. And I just don't know what Houston was thinking when they got rid of him. But DeAndre Hopkins, I still remember my face and my jaw hurting when I saw that they traded him and my shit dropped. I was like, why? Why would they trade DeAndre, the best receiver in the league?
Not only did they trade him, they traded him for nothing.
Nothing. They didn't even get nothing back. Nothing. You can't. I don't know. Look, if I'm Deshaun Watson, I would want out too. Shit. After that, I'm like, oh, look, I got to go. But DeAndre Hopkins is the number one wide receiver in the NFL. Again,
I can agree with that.
The top 3, you can interchange them out because Diggs, Adams, Hopkins are legit number ones. You put them on any squad, they're going to be the legit number one guy. They're going to produce the same because guess what? We've seen Diggs produce in Minnesota. He's doing it in Buffalo. We saw Hopkins produce in Houston. He's doing it in Arizona. Adams, he ain't been nowhere else, but I'm pretty sure if he goes somewhere else, he would produce just like he is now. But DeAndre Hopkins is another elite, superior route runner. He rarely, just like Larry Fitzgerald, rarely will drop a pass. Like the man has mittens as hands. And then he can go up and snag the ball as we saw in the Hail Murray play Arizona threw. Again, not one of the more fast guys, but he gets open. And despite his slim frame, D-Hop is physical. Yes, he is not afraid to go out there and get physical. So DeAndre Hopkins is, to me, the number one wide receiver in the NFL. And Nate has the number one wide receiver core. His lovely Buffalo Bills, which I can't argue. So y'all, if y'all enjoyed our list, if you like Z's hot takes, if y'all want to try to get on Z for putting the Bills as the top receiving core, or if we want somebody to come in here and troll us and like, well, why you ain't got Kansas City? Bro, literally think about Kansas City receiving core. Kelsey, Hill. Don't give me, well, what about Mecole Hardman? Mecole Hardman catches a pass like every 2 or 3 games. Like, come on now.
Yep.
Like, no. You can't name the person after that.
Yeah. I mean, if we included tight ends in it, yeah.
Yeah.
They'd be easy top 3. Easy. Out of doubt.
But pure wide receivers?
No.
Absolutely not. Because if Kelsey, think about it like this. Let's think about your receiving cores. If their tight end got hurt, guess what? Their core will still produce. If Travis Kelsey gets hurt, you know what I'm saying, knock on wood, I'm just saying hypothetically, he gets hurt. I mean, Tyreek Hill may still get something, but guess what? The defenses are going to really key on him. You're going to tell me that the rest of that Kansas City receiving core, no disrespect, will be elite like Minnesota, Tampa, Buffalo, Dallas. Like, who else do they have? Mecole Hardman, yeah, he has speed, but he's not a game breaker like Tyreek. No. So, I mean,
there's just like any other team. You have that guy who makes that play once his entire career.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that was one play, but that's kind of what I was looking at. You know, I really wanted to take in the effect, you know, wide receiver depth, because not a lot of teams carry a lot of wide receivers. You know, they maybe carry 6.
Yeah.
And if you don't know half of them, you know, on a national level, I mean, little issues with that, you know, and that's kind of why that's what's unique about the Bills roster. And it's funny because if we were talking about this in 2018, this would be the biggest joke ever if I said that. Yeah, it would be the biggest joke ever because there was nobody. There's nobody in.
Yeah, everybody be like, like, what is this guy talking about? Buffalo. You got to give Buffalo their respect. You can't.
Oh yeah, sure.
As a football junkie or fan, not look at Buffalo and like literally consider what Z said as nothing but truth, and look at the leap Josh Allen. And if you expect Josh Allen to take the next leap again, then you got to look at what I said when I say Josh Allen will be the MVP of the 2021 season. Like, I don't see who else would do it. Like, it's like to me, it's his to take. And it's his to lose easily, but it is definitely his to take. Like, Josh Allen, Buffalo gonna tear some shit up this season. They're gonna tear some shit up. I'm telling y'all.
We'll talk about that because, you know, I think realistically, man, I think it's going to be solely on the defense, man. I think the offense is going to win a lot of games. But if the 2019 defense can come back, we're talking Super Bowl, man. And I'm not even trying to joke around.
No. I agree because I think Buffalo has a legit, realistic – you know what? I think Buffalo has the best chance to get to the Super Bowl over Baltimore, over Kansas City, because here's what we know about Buffalo all around. They're a good fucking team. Kansas City, outside of the Honey Badger and Chris Jones on the D-line, that defense is suspect.
Well, and then Clark, look at Clark. Clark's going to get a felony charge. He's got 3 years he's facing right now. He ain't getting out of it.
Baltimore, they don't really have a receiving core. Offense is predictable. Yes, Lamar Jackson can make plays. But again, when you get to the playoffs and you can key on that, you can shut that down. Baltimore's defense. I thought last year they were going to be the best defense. It seems like as the year went on, they kind of like wore down and just didn't live up to what they were on paper.
Yeah.
Buffalo has a good defense. Josh Allen will get better. I see him out there with the dark visor. So I know Josh Allen means fucking business this upcoming season. If y'all don't sleep on Buffalo, I will not be surprised if the AFC title game is in Buffalo, New York come January. Do not, Mark, put this down as a hot take. Do not be surprised if the road to the Super Bowl in the AFC goes through Buffalo. And your MVP, Josh Allen. I said it, goddammit. I said it. Now, question is, can they get to the Super Bowl and break through unlike the 90s teams? Because if they're playing somebody like I feel like any other team in the NFC they can beat. But Tampa Bay, with Brady and the experience, that's a tough one to call. That's a different one. But let's say if they're playing somebody like Dallas, Arizona, Seattle, Green Bay, San Francisco, LA, Buffalo can beat those guys. They can beat those teams. I'm not saying that those teams can't beat them because any given Sunday anybody can lose. But when I look at the matchup between Buffalo and Tampa Bay, I just feel like that's tougher to call because you got number 12 in Tampa Bay. That's he's a different animal.
Sure.
He's on another fucking level. And you gotta account for him alone. He's on another fucking level. But guys, that is another video. I hope y'all enjoy. Look, we enjoy doing this. So, are we gonna do top 10 tight ends or top 5 tight ends? Or are we just gonna go to the offensive line units? What you want to do?
Well, tight end is kind of a weird position.
It is.
I think because are we gonna talk about like overall? Because we could sit there and talk about the best blocking tight end, and it's not gonna be Travis Kelce.
True.
Well, and it's not gonna be George Kittle. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of my thing. So I think we could do top 5, but overall, like everything I think that they bring to the game.
I think tight end would be another one, just like running backs. We'll have to do a top 5. So just so you guys know what's coming, got tight ends coming next week. After that, we're doing offensive lines as a unit, like Z did receivers. We're gonna do 10 offensive lines units because how can you rate an offensive lineman individually? You can't.
Yeah.
I think for D linemen, we should do edge rushers and interior linemen together.
Yeah, I think we could do that.
Do that together.
Well, no, because DE, man, it's.
We see you back there, Natalie. Get out of there.
Natalie.
We see you back there. Get out of there, girl, before you get out this channel kicked down, canceled.
But no, I think that we could seriously because defensive end, man, or defensive edge, my bad.
Yeah.
That is a very unique talent.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's like a versus like now.
Yeah, and outside of when we're talking about like defensive line, you know, where your interior, outside, you know, your left and your right, I think that can be talked as a unit because you know because that's kind of a weird one, man. We'll have to talk about that more, but make sure everyone looks at our Facebook page. Facebook page, Twitter. What the fuck? You're using your Twitter, right?
Look at my camera. What the fuck just happened to me? Look at that. What the fuck? God damn, what just happened? Sorry, man. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Check out our Facebook page. It's new. We're trying to grow our community just like everyone else is.
Yeah, man. Y'all come join us, man. Unfiltered Sports Podcast. Yeah. Yeah,
like Apollo said, you know, he's trying to make us the next big dual talking points. Maybe one day you guys will see us on freaking Hot Take or something. You know, we don't know. We love it.
We love it.
We're just two veterans that fucking had a lot of fucking
a lot
of shit together and
that love sports.
We want all of it.
Exactly. Y'all join us on this journey. Join us. Y'all, hey, where my football junkies at? Come on, man. Y'all know look, we ready for the season. When the season starts, shit's gonna kick up. I keep freezing over here, so we need to go ahead and end the video. So thank y'all so much for coming through. Y'all be sure to subscribe to the channel. Share the content. Like Z said, go find us on Facebook. Follow us. Share us. Spread the word. Unfiltered Sports Podcast. Let it be known. We talking hot football takes over here, all right? But in the meantime, my name's Apollo. That's my man Z. That's my brother right there. Y'all be sure to give him a thumbs up. Give him a like. Make sure y'all give him some love for him making these banners. This was his brainchild. Hey, we're
gonna have to change them next week because I don't really like how they look, but I'll figure it out.
We'll keep changing. It ain't no thing but a chicken wing. But y'all be safe. One love. All glory to God. We will catch you guys next week when we talk about the tight ends, baby. Until next time.